Next talk is by Sarah. She'll be talking about front-end issues with backend solutions, a bit of very new topic.
Hi, my name is Sarah Guthals, and I lead DevRel at Sentry. Today, we're going to talk about tracing and how you can find and resolve front-end issues that actually have back-end root causes. Before we get started, I want to give you a quick introduction to Sentry. You might have heard of Sentry as a monitoring platform, but monitoring suggests that we're just looking at graphs, staring at metrics, and exploring events. Sentry has always been focused on helping developers take action, and monitoring really does imply those more passive activities. What we really need is a tool to actively help us with debugging. So, how can a monitoring tool help you move beyond passively monitoring events in your applications to actively helping you debug errors and issues? Well, Sentry does this really well with three key areas. We like to call this debuggability. First, we need to understand the context around what's happening. What browser, operating system, or device triggered the event? What were all the things that happened right before an error happened? What line of code triggered this error? How many users are experiencing the issue? Is the issue impacting revenue? Is the entire app or website crashing? You might be used to sifting through all of this data in a more traditional observability or monitoring tool. But Sentry contextualizes this data into more actionable insights that you can leverage to be able to prioritize and assign those issues across your entire organization with ease. I mean, every single developer in your organization doesn't want to be alerted to every single issue in every one of your applications. So you can use the context that comes with issues to decide which team or team member or Slack channel gets alerted to what types of issues. Is the issue a priority based on how many users or types of users it's affecting? And do you even want to be alerted to this issue at all? Now, when the right people do get alerted and open Sentry to start resolving issues, tracing is at the core of their debugging workflow. You can use the trace view to inspect every single event that led up to the trace across all distributed apps and services, so you know exactly what went wrong, where, and why. You also don't need to spend time recreating the issues locally. We most likely have all the information and context that you'll need to start working on a fix. Now, this may sound too good to be true, so let's jump straight into a demo so that I can show you how Sentry is your debuggability platform. Okay, so let's actually see debuggability in practice. We're going to debug this e-commerce website. It's super real, okay, maybe not, but it's a store called Empower Plant. And Empower Plant sells things for plants. So let's go ahead and browse some products. Seems like we might have a slowdown there. Not sure what that's all about, but hopefully it'll load. Maybe it's my Wi-Fi. All right, well, products loaded. I'm fairly patient. I really want to keep my plants alive, so let's go ahead and scroll through here. It looks like we've got something that's like a mood ring for our plants, voice, letting them speak for themselves. Oh my gosh, a plant stroller. Okay, so I'm really bad at keeping my plants alive, and if they could just walk up to me and maybe even let me know that they need water, I would be so happy. So let's go ahead and just Yep, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and drop over $1,000 on just trying to keep a few plants alive. Let's go ahead and proceed to checkout here. I'm going to fill in all of my information, click submit. No. What? Why? Huh. All right, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and submit this. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do Sarah. Yep, that's definitely my email. And I was just trying to check out and I got a crash report. I don't know what's going on, so let's go ahead and submit that. Cool. All right. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but I guess I'm not buying any plants. I might try one more time. Yeah, no, it does not seem to be working. Well, this is so frustrating. I really don't know what's going on. But luckily, this site has Sentry enabled. So I already got a notification in Slack here that says that I have a 500 internal server error. It's on production on this release, and this is the user that experienced that error. You can see that I get some information right here in Slack in this notification. But what I find most useful, to be honest, is that I can just click right in here and it'll take me directly to Sentry, directly to that issue view. So this is Sentry, this is our issue view. You can see this is that same 500 internal server error that happened on checkout. We can see that this is actually only happened once for one user, which is really interesting. Immediately, we get some information right here at the top. So first of all, I can jump in to get a full trace. And I'm probably going to do that because tracing an error from the front end to the back end is what this talk is all about. But I want to give you a quick overview of what else you get here within Sentry. One of my favorite features is this suspect commit. So it seems like this commit right here that happened 2 months ago might actually be the one that caused this issue. So that's really interesting. We also get that user feedback that you saw me fill out that says that I was just trying to check out and I got a crash report. We get some event highlights here at the top showing us that this is an error, that it happened in production, it happened on checkout, and then I get some information about the user. So they were using Chrome, and this is their email address. As we scroll down, we get to see the stack trace, and we can see that this issue is actually handled. So we are getting where that error was thrown. And we also get a session replay. Now, if you have not seen session replays, I'm going to open this up real quick. So this is a video-like reproduction of what was happening on your user's device when the error occurred. So we can see that I went to go check out, I filled out all my information. Now, one thing I want you to note here is all of the asterisks, which are covering the PII, or personally identifiable information. Out of the box session replay obfuscates all of that information, but you can specify whether you want that obfuscated or not. So up here in this configure replay, you can unmask text or unblock media like images or video if you know for a fact that it does not contain PII. So feel free to go check out the docs for that. But let's keep watching. We can see that they tried to check out and then we got to this error right here. And this is actually the second time we've seen it, because if we scroll back all the way over here on this timeline, we can see that first of all, oh my gosh, there's that slow DB query. I had a feeling there was something going on with that slowdown right there. So we actually can see that we've got that slowdown when we were first trying to load in all of the products. And then over here, we went to go check out. And that's when we got that first error showing, which brought up that user feedback. So this is giving us exactly what just happened in my browser, but we can see it not only without having to recreate it locally, but also with all of the errors that are showing up across our entire stack along this specific timeline. We also get a very detailed list of all of the breadcrumbs. So when the page loaded, we get some web vital information directly in our replay. So we can see that we had a CLS, or a cumulative layout shift, happen. We can see that this was the largest contentful paint, and we can actually get that element right in here. Then there was a full page load, then another CLS. We can see there was a user click happening right when I went to go click just in the middle of this browser. And then we can see that when I went to navigate to those products, that's where we got that slow DB query and an N+1 query issue. So we can dig into those issues which are happening on the back end, or we can scroll all the way down to where we actually were trying to check out and dig into that issue further. We also get what was happening in the console, what was happening across the network. So there's that 500 response right there inside of our replay, the list of errors as we already saw, and then the trace. Now, I really want to dig into this trace some more. So we're going to go back to that issue view, and I want to see this full trace here. So this is our full trace view. And don't worry, this isn't everything. We actually have a lot more information about this trace that goes all the way down to the back end. So we can see that we navigated on the front end to checkout and that we clicked that submit checkout form button. That then made a call to the server where we first tried to make sure that we got that inventory. We can actually go all the way down to that specific query for the 2 items that we were trying to purchase and get all of the information about that right here. Now, over here in the trace tab, we can see that 2 errors actually occurred. There was that internal server error, but also there was this not enough inventory for product exception. So it seems like that's the issue that's happening right here, that we were trying to purchase product, but we didn't have enough for it. And yes, it technically was handled. We technically threw the error. It technically caught it with that user feedback, but this is not something that I want my users to experience because they're just going to leave and not complete their purchase. So this, while it was handled, is an exception that I definitely want to dig into. I want to assign it to someone, and I really want to make sure that we resolve that quickly. And that's really how we contextualize, prioritize, and trace issues so that we can quickly and easily resolve them. We started with this front end issue that we got alerted to in Slack, and because of this full trace view, we were able to dig deep into it and determine that it was likely happening in the back end, and it's a not enough inventory for product error. And this one in particular is actually not handled properly. So yes, maybe the front end team handled all of their 500 returns properly, but the back end team, they've got some work to do. In fact, if the backend team doesn't know where to get started, they might get lucky with this AI solution. There's definitely no PII here, and we can maybe get some tips as to, oh, look at that. It looks like we have a proposed solution for how to resolve this issue. So, hopefully it'll be pretty quick and the team can get that fix out right away. As you saw, Sentry really is your debuggability platform that helps you resolve performance issues and errors quickly and effectively. So let's recap some of our key debugging features. Our trace view helps you confidently find the root cause to your application issues, regardless of where they show up across your system. And the best part is that you can find traces throughout our application. So whether you're starting your debugging journey with a session replay or diving straight into the specific issue, you will be able to trace down to the root cause quickly. We all want to avoid our users going on social media and ranting about how broken our applications are, especially when we try to follow up and get repro steps like, I opened it and it's broken. That's why we also have the user feedback widget and session replay, 2 features that help you get closer to your users. Now, when your users report an issue, you have all of the context that Sentry provides to better understand what the user was experiencing. And with replays, it's easier than ever to literally see what was happening on your user's machine without having to figure out how to recreate the issue locally. These features make time to resolution much shorter and your customers much happier. And what kind of tech company would we be if we didn't include AI somewhere? But don't worry, we are focused on only including AI where it can help you take action. Our auto-fix suggestions will suggest fixes to your errors from inside the issue details page. And if you're not often hanging out in Sentry, we've got support for you too. With the Sentry Copilot extension, you can contextualize issues your application is experiencing from right inside VS Code. Sentry offers many plans, from our free developer or self-serve plans to enterprise plans. So whatever the size of your team or code base, Sentry will grow with you. You should also check out some of our recent blogs. We've been focusing a lot on authentic developer challenges and how to solve them. And if you want to learn more about tracing, definitely check out our blog all about tracing. Be sure to join our Discord and let us know if you have any questions. Thank you so much.